Hello, this is Tim with TAH-DAH Farm. Today is Friday, June 10th, and we're going to do some spraying. Got the farm truck right here, towed on top, filling up with some water. We're going to go spray some corn. Alright, I've had a lot of people ask me about this Trimble Easy Guide 500 and the GPS stuff in my equipment. And I thought a spraying video is the ideal time to discuss this, because the whole purpose I got into the GPS was for spraying. And this Easy Boom Control 2010 is what makes that available. So, like you saw there when this was booting up, this is a Trimble Easy Guide 500. It is no longer serviced. The way mine is set up here, I got a power cable that comes off of this box that I put in here. It's got a couple cigarette lighters, but it uses a cigarette lighter. There's a 9-pin that comes out of there, and that 9-pin does several things. One, it goes to my switch on my implements when I'm planning to do the painting, so I know where I've been and what I've done. It also comes back to this little hand remote, so I can sit back here and actually do things with this remote on there. I don't have to lean forward. These buttons on here are the same buttons right here. It is not touchscreen. So it's the prior motorcycle. It's prior to that technology of touchscreen. It's not a touchscreen. It's just strictly the 6 buttons. So that 9-pin does that. That 9-pin also comes out and goes to this box, and that is a communication converter to ISOBUS. And down there's where the field view puck will go, and then that would tie into the iPad. That is strictly for power to charge it, keep it charged while we're using it. Everything is done wireless with that. But that's only used for the planning so far. There's ways to use it for spraying, but I do not know how to do that, and we will mess with that later. But that's how this Easy Guide is hooked up. There's a wire for the antenna, and I got it running up here, and the antenna's up here on top. It's just that white little box. It's a little round deal there. So that's all that's on this thing, is the power cable, the 9-pin, and the antenna. And that 9-pin is pretty crucial to do all the different things that it does. But out of that power cable, there is a communication, 2 wires in that communication wire, and right down here on the floor there's a connector. And that connector then connects up and what goes into this Easy Boom. That's this wire right here. It uses the power coming from the cigarette lighter, as well as the power coming from, well, the communication of where we've been, not where we've been, from the GPS to tell what sections of the boom to come on. Now, this can control 10 sections. My sprayer only has 5. So I only use these first 5, and I can manually turn these sections on and off, or with a master, turn them on and off. So like when I'm coming to the end of the row, I'll use this master switch right here, shut the whole boom off once I've got to my headland. If I'm starting out in a spot and I only need a couple rows to work, I can have a couple rows on and have the rest off, hit the master switch, and it opens the solenoids up, and just these 2 sections of the boom spray, and then I can turn this on as we get to areas where I can turn it on. Then it's the whole boom running. And this will control each section of this. It's just, that's more for boundary areas, because that was one problem that Trimble had with this unit, is controlling boundaries. It was, the thought was you could set a boundary and then this would turn it on and off to not go outside that boundary, but that did not work. There was a glitch in that, and that was where they stopped working on it anymore. There's history there between Trimble and Ag Leader, I believe it was. Anyway, a couple of those companies were working together and then parted ways. So this Easy Guide, because it was both of them working on it, just got dropped and they went to their own stuff. So that's why it's not serviced anymore. I think it'd be great if somebody could buy it and finish working with it. I think it's a great low-end GPS system that could be very affordable. Now, Trimble kept the 250, and it did everything this does, except you couldn't do the easy boom with it. It just did the guidance. You could do easy steer and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, that's how that works. Then out of here, there's a main power cable that comes off of this 3-pin that we have in the tractor here, and that runs power up here for all these sections of the boom, and I'll show you those in a second. But there's a big cable that goes out. I got it going out here, and it connects to the boom. So let's go out there now. All right, we're out here to the back, and here's that multi-pin cable coming back here, and it's got a wire that goes to every one of these, I don't know, zone valves, solenoid valves, however you want to call it. Those are the 5 sections of the boom. Well, let me go to the other side there, it'll be easier to reach. Anyway, yeah, that comes over here and goes to all them valves. And then there's a wire that comes over. This is the flow meter. It is actually a Raven flow meter, and it's just got an impeller in there, and as the fluid goes through, it measures what's going out. Now, that end valve on the end, when I'm spraying, it's closed, but for filling and mixing and stuff, I have it open, so it's constantly stirring the tank. This is your flow control valve. So as those valves are going on and off, this needs to adjust how much bypasses this section of the flow. So this maintains what's set up right now for 15 gallons an acre. It maintains that. That's what this valve does. This is purely a safety valve. If everything fails here, this will lift and open up so we don't go over, I think I got it set for about 65 pounds. But anyway, that's how this all is. So, but I also put this in here so like when I'm washing it out, what we're gonna do right now, I can actually force the water up through there, and I can actually disconnect, hook a garden hose up to this, so I don't have to have the pump and the tractor running and then just flush through the sections of the valve. But yeah, I got strainer here. This is just a small strainer for fine particulates, just to help keep this clean. And then down there is a big strainer just to keep the big particulates caught. But anyway, yep, that's how it all works. And that Easy Guide 500 with the boom control controls all this. It takes all that information in, and then it just adjusts as it needs to run all this. So it's extremely easy to spray, and so that's how it's set up. 200-gallon tank. I don't think I've ever had 200 gallons in it, and the boom spreads out to 45 feet. This is folded up, and then I can actually fold this section in and turn that zone off. Same thing on that side, and then make it a 3-section, and that's 200 inches narrower, whatever that comes out to be. But all folded out, it's 45 feet. So, and I've had to do that before, fold that in and just do a small area. And then this is where I fold it for transportation, and that little bit sticks up in front. It's got 27 nozzles on it, and the nozzles I have in are called twin or turbo twins. And here's what the hell, kind of muddy, but you can see how it's got the two spots where it comes out there, and it's a 60-degree offset. So when it's spraying 60 degrees and 30 degrees front, 30 degrees back. That's how I got the pump rigged up. It takes suction off the bottom and then goes up and feeds the supply over there. So I don't know what else to tell you about it. Hopefully that explains all the questions you might have. So if you got more questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. So at this point, we'll say thanks for watching and hope it helps you understand how it works.